We've had quite a bit of Hasbro Beyblade X news seemingly just drop out of nowhere, from previously never before seen product coming out in Europe to a brand new set and even more collaboration bays. So in this video, we're going to check out as much of the news as possible, so hit that like button, hit subscribe, and do not talk about my Christmas tree. So the first bit of news I want to talk about is the most recent, and that is a brand new Marvel collaboration set. This looks to be yet another one of those collab double packs, but this one is themed around the new Captain America movie, and we see a Dran sword mold of Captain America, and even better yet, a retooling of Tyranno Beat with Red Hulk. Let's start with the Captain America one first, and this one is my lesser favorite of the two, but both of them are still fantastic. This version of Captain America is Sam Wilson, or previously Captain Falcon, not the Steve Rogers that you guys may be used to, but because of that change, we see both of their character designs really mixed into one here, and I think that's just amazing. We can see the Captain America shield star design baked into the prongs of the bay, and we also have this feather design for the actual blade kind of contact areas, which just looks really, really good. We've had other Marvel bays release as retools of Sword Dran or Dran Sword, like with Venom in that Spider-Man and Venom pack. And I thought Venom was great. I love the design of that blade a lot, but this one might be better. All of these Hasbro bays are most likely going to be releasing in April or May of this year, so we have a little while to wait. But if you guys want to get Beyblades now, go and check out sponsor of the channel, Mall of Toys. They have pretty much every X release you could ask for, like Wand Wizard, Dran Buster, or the newer Golem Rock. And they're also going to be holding pre-orders for the upcoming CX releases whenever those become available. So go and check them out, link in the description down below, and make sure to use code ilinnuc to get 5% off. While I would like to see Hasbro take a less safe route and maybe design their own bays from scratch and not do this retooling sort of thing, if the retools are going to look this good and they have good parts, I'm not against that. And speaking of the parts for Captain America aren't great. We have the 470 ratchet, which is like newer, I guess, but four-sided ratchets are kind of useless in my opinion. I know there's probably a lot of combos out there that use it, but I never use four-sided ratchets, so I don't really care. And I also don't really care about the bit, which is GB or gear ball. I don't understand why they keep giving us these stamina tips for more attack-oriented designs. I mean, on that Venom Bay I mentioned earlier, they gave us Needle, which is fine, I guess, but I don't really care about getting another gear ball. But if you don't have that part, then it's a good buy. But now we can move on to easily the best collaboration release we have seen for the entire generation, and that is Red Hulk. Now, I can't really speak on the Red Hulk character, whether it's in the comic books or the upcoming movie, but this design does look great. Looking at that gear chip in the middle, we have the super angry Red Hulk, and for the most part, I think that these collaboration gear chip designs have been kind of safe, maybe kind of boring, but this one looks awesome. And the metal design here is great as well. This bay is based off of Tyranno Beat, or Beat Tyranno, depending on which name you like better. Around the edge of Red Hulk, you can see it's like the Hulk is grabbing the bay. It makes it look really dynamic, and it just kind of fits the Hulk character. I don't know what else they could have done besides fingers, like maybe a fist, or I mean, Hulk uses his hands. He uses his hands to smash things, so the fact that they have that sort of idea baked into the bay is just awesome. Okay, hats off to whoever or whichever team designed this bay. It looks great. I feel like I'm just kind of rambling about the design of these bays, but they look really good, and I just can't get over that. They did a great job. And the parts for Red Hulk are definitely a big improvement from the previous releases, and even an improvement from Captain America. We have the 180 ratchet, which is fine. I definitely like 160 more, but people still swear by 180 for different combos, so getting another version of that it's okay. More excitingly though, is definitely the red reprint of Rush. Now Rush is one of those bits that's always just really popular in the Beyblade meta. It's also not the easiest to get. I think there's a few ways to get it now. It's getting easier over time, but having yet another way to get Rush is great. It's just even more of a reason to pick up this collaboration pack. Now let's move on to another bit of hype Hasbro news, and this one was kind of a surprise drop. It just randomly showed up on Hasbro's Chile shop, I believe, and that is a new Beyblade set. This new set is called the Drop Attack Battle Set, and it comes with 2 bays that are kind of surprising. The new stadium gimmick is exciting, but also a bit of a surprise. Really, just nobody expected anything like this. Looking at the stadium first, it's this nice bright blue color. It also looks to be about the same size as the standard Hasbro Battle Set Stadium, so it's not any smaller or bigger. At least that's the way it looks to me. Maybe the center dish is a little bit bigger to make room for the new stadium gimmick, but otherwise it looks to be about the same. The main idea for a standard Beyblade X Stadium is your bay grabbing onto the extreme line and ripping around at extreme speeds. With the new Drop Attack Stadium, it has that same idea, but now it has a vertical element, where instead of your bay just circling around just kind of in one area, it'll go up and then eventually drop down and attack your opponent's bay. I don't know how effective or interesting this is going to be, but it's a stadium gimmick I am down for. I would much rather have something gimmicky like this than like divots in the stadium like we had with Metal Fights or whatever they were doing with Burst. It's definitely on the more gimmicky side, but if the bays are really good, then it makes the set even more worth it, and they just might be. Let's start off with Hover Wyvern, and this one I'm gonna be a bit of a hater about, okay? And I understand a lot of you guys might be really excited for it, but I am not a big fan of Wyvern Gale or Gale Wyvern, so this seemingly Hasbro exclusive upgrade just isn't that exciting for me. Now don't get me wrong, it is definitely pretty cool to see Hasbro make exclusive UX releases, but Wyvern is just not the one that I would have chosen. But you know, it's whatever, I guess. I don't really know how I feel about the parts though. Okay, we have a bluish teal color 385, which 385 is cool. It's a pretty unique part, and currently the only way you could get it is in the UX10 Night Mail set. And then we have our throwaway part for the entire set, which is Needle. And some people love the Needle bit, but they released this bit like 50 bajillion times by now, so I have enough of them. I also have more than enough Impact Drakes, but I'm gonna be getting another one with this set. I was kind of surprised that they included Impact with this new stadium set. I really thought they would release it by itself. Maybe release it like they did with Soar Phoenix or Cobalt Dragoon, where it has its own string launcher set or something. But instead, they locked it behind a stadium. I'm a little torn on how I feel about this, because on one hand, Hasbro had to include an important bay in this set, or else nobody would buy it. But also, that means everybody that was waiting to get the Hasbro Drake for it to be a little bit cheaper, a little bit more accessible, that wait was pretty much for nothing, because the only way you can get it is in a more expensive set. So you may as well get the Takara Tomy one, I guess. All of the parts that are included with this set version of Impact Drake are the exact same as the Takara Tomy release, meaning the blade looks the same. You're going to be getting that 960 ratchet and the nice low rush bit. But you know, it's still going to be more expensive because it's in a set. You're also not going to be able to get that cool metallic and red string launcher either. That one is only going to be on the Takara Tomy version, but hopefully Hasbro releases a string launcher separately at some point. And now let's move on to our final bit of Hasbro news. And that is the fact that Wave 4 starters have appeared in Europe. These pictures are pretty interesting because we have a Hasbro unique recolor of Buster Dran. Kind of funny that that's already leaking out onto shelves somewhere in Europe when, for the most part, Buster Dran, the standard version, still is nowhere to be found in stores. But this one is pretty interesting. It's not my favorite mixture of colors, but Dran Buster is one of my favorite bays for all of Beyblade X. It's a lot of fun to battle with, so having a new version of it is pretty cool. The other two starters are definitely way more normal, but one of them was really surprising. The one that wasn't surprising, though, was the Hasbro version of Hell's Hammer. We knew we were going to be getting Hammer Incendio at some point. I believe most people thought, including myself, that it was going to be in a double pack, so seeing it in a starter form is not really surprising, but it's just not what we expected. Otherwise, though, it is just Hammer Incendio, or Hell's Hammer. It's the same thing, same look, same parts, same color scheme. It's the exact same bay. Now, the most exciting and the most interesting starter of the three is easily the recolor of Wand Wizard. This is going to be one that I think is going to be kind of hard to find on shelves because all of these parts are just so good. Now, originally, the green recolor of Wizard Rod was a random booster bay, not even a prize or anything, but because the parts were all really good, it made it way more sought after. If you didn't get this green Wizard Rod recolor, then let me remind you of the parts. We have a green reprint of Rush, which I talked about earlier being really good in the meta. We have a green recolor of 160, which I mentioned earlier being a big fan of. And we also have a green version of Wand Wizard, or Wizard Rod, which is still somehow one of the best bays of the entire generation. It's just a stamina beast. This is an easy buy. This is an easy S tier for whenever I make another tier list video. So if you find this at your stores, definitely buy it. But that is going to wrap up this video, guys. If you liked it, hit that like button down below and subscribe to join the Nook Nation. I want to give a big thank you to you guys for helping me pass 350,000 subscribers. I don't really know where to go from here goal-wise. I don't know if I should go to 400K or just go super crazy and do 500,000. So let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. I will see you in the next one. Have fun and Hasbro Bay away.